Hi everybody, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com and welcome back to another Inspire Me Monday for Power Poppy. I love doing these videos and it's been a while. So I'm starting off with this Poppy XL stamp and I'm going to stamp it in Versamark ink and we're going to emboss it with some Hero Arts white embossing powder. So we're going to work on that and then we're going to add the little congrats sentiment out of the same set. So this is fluid watercolor paper. I'm still not sure how I feel about this. I've used it in a few projects over the last month, year, something like that. It's not my favorite, it's not my least favorite. It works really wonderful for techniques like this. So we're going to emboss our image in white embossing powder. And then we're just going to keep everything super simple and splashy and not too technical or trying to be too perfect or anything of that nature, which is a little different for me. If you've seen any of my other floral videos and things of that nature, I tend to do lots of layers and I'm very particular with where my colors go and I like everything to end up really crisp and clean a lot of the time at the end. And for this one, everything's just really loose and messy and fun. I had a blast painting this one. So once we get our embossing done here, I do let my heat gun heat up for about 30 seconds off of the paper before I start embossing anything. So once I get that embossed, once your powder turns shiny, it's finished. So that's when I move on to the next little area and carry on around. And then I'll flip it over and hit the back just to help flatten it out. Then we'll tape it down to the paper, and I'm using these designs by Rachel Beth watercolors. They're handmade watercolors. She releases like a couple sets every Friday or something, and these are the 3 I have, and somehow I ended up with 2 colors as doubles already. That's like my luck. But anyway, I'm starting off here by soaking down our paper, and I'm just going to let that soak in for a couple seconds. And we're going to start dropping in some of this Irish mint color. It's out of her Succulent Gardens set, which I don't know if she had. I honestly don't. I haven't looked in a while. But I love this green color, but I do find it's a little bit difficult to re-wet. Then I have her Moon Glow here, which is a really pretty, like, navy indigo-esque type blue that I'm splashing over top of that. And we will dry that all with our heat gun. These are super pretty watercolors. I really like them. I need to start. I say that about all my paints. I use things. I just have more than any normal human being should. Anyway, I digress. I am going to heat set that. I didn't put the whole thing on camera because we don't need to watch that 100 times. Now I'm taking one of the yellow colors in the set. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head and I didn't see it on the screen, but I'm just filling in where the center of that flower is. I do have the stamp set off to the side so that I can kind of look back at it to figure out where, oh, it's mustard seed, and now I'm using strawberry rhubarb to start painting the flowers. See, it all comes back to me. But I do have, like I was saying, I do have the stamp set off to the side in order to make sure that I'm kind of putting the shadows where I want them, like the darker colors where I want the shadows to be, and then blending it out into the light. It just makes it a little bit easier to see the black lines on the stamp packaging as opposed just to the embossing to kind of figure out where I am and what I'm doing. This is just an acrylic stamping block that I've put the watercolor onto because there's not really a mixing area in those tins. I could pop out that top piece of paper and use that, but then it's just like a metal area, so I grabbed the acrylic block and used it today. I did find on this fluid watercolor, it did start picking up like the green and the blue that I had splashed over top of the flower fairly easily instead of glazing like I like to work with a lot of my colors. So that was a little tricky to get right. Once I noticed it happening, I just left that area alone to dry, and I'll go back and glaze more colors over top, or more layers of this over top of it as it dries. So I'm just working my way around the flower, putting in the color at a stronger strength where the shadow area would be, and then just blending it out with some clean clear water. That's why you see my arm going across the screen. I'm going to rinse out the brush and then to my rag that I keep off to the side to take some of the water out of the brush. This is a sable brush. I just picked this one up actually not long ago. The art stores in Saskatoon in September do like a 25% off store-wide sale. So I picked up this round number 6 Princeton sable brush, and I really like it. I like the point that it stays at. It's really pretty. I may have to grab like an 8 yet before the end of the month if I make it up to the city anyway. They're very expensive brushes, that's for sure, and I like investing in good quality supplies a lot of the time, but I also don't like spending $50 on a watercolor brush. So when I can get it for 25% off, that's kind of more my speed. So you can see how I'm going in now and I'm just putting more layers over top using the same strawberry rhubarb color and blending them back out. It just kind of defines those petals a little bit more and gives it a lot more like definition and color to it, so you can see that it's a flower and not just a random blob of pretty watercolorness. I dripped a little bit, so I just mopped up the water before it could affect anything too terribly much. So I hope everybody's been having like a fantastic time painting flowers. If you haven't checked out the new clear stamp release, that's over on the Power Poppy store, and we did have a digital release on the 15th as well, which was a super pretty stamp set. I really, really liked that digi. I did a project with it. It's on my blog. So, I mean, make sure you check out the store and see all the new stuff. This stamp isn't new. It is a clear stamp. I will have it linked in the description box below or on the blog post, depending on where you guys are watching this. But I love this stamp set. This poppy is gorgeous and flowy and pretty, and I really, really like it. Now I'm going back in with that mustard seed color and I'm deepening it up just a little bit, and then I'm dabbing it off right away. I don't want it to dry too much on top of that embossing powder, and then I mixed in a little bit of a brown color just to give it a little bit more depth to the center. And now I'm adding some more of that moon glow and then more of the Irish mint color into the background just to darken it up a little bit. I found it got a little too washed out and I wanted a little bit more color back there. This is rose gold, so this is another, it's almost the same color as the strawberry rhubarb, but it does have that gold mica powder in it, so it's a shimmery watercolor, I guess, which I don't use a lot of. I don't use a lot of like metallic watercolors and things of that nature. This was really, really pretty, and I had it in the set and these were all pulled out, so I figured, well, that might be fun to add something a little different. So this is back to that Irish mint. And then we'll get that all dried up, and I'm going to come in with a little bit of this black color here. I think it's called black licorice or licorice black. And I'm going to add just a little bit of it around the sentiment so that it stands out a little better off of the page. And you can read it. All it says is congrats. Super simple. And that is the end of this card, you guys. It probably took me about 20 minutes from start to finish. Super fun, super simple, and I really, really love the look I got out of it in the end. Some really pretty colors and some watercolors I haven't used in a while. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.